What's up, guys? This is Wenzes. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another INFJ love life and dating video. Today I want to talk to you about this thing that so many of us have where we feel like our partner should be our solution. And when I say solution, I really mean solution to life. Once we have that partner who sees us as this incredible person, once we have somebody who understands us, once we have somebody who fulfills all our needs, who appreciates us and realizes what great things we're doing for them, then our life will make sense. That kind of attitude I had for the longest time. I didn't know that there was anything outside of that. Everything else to me didn't seem like love. I thought that's the only way love should be. And yeah, it got me into a lot of bad situations where it came to year-long crushes that didn't go anywhere. When it got to me getting into relationships that just pulled me down because I was so focused on making that work that I fell for everything. You know how you say if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for everything. And what did I stand for? What do a lot of INFJs stand for? They stand for this relationship, for making that relationship work, for making that person feel special, and for making that person feel special the way they are, without having to force them to do any kind of compromises. But in the end, no matter who you meet, they're not going to be like you, and they will never ever be able to fulfill all of your needs. My first relationship I got into, I was 16 and it lasted until I was 23. So that was a really long time, and that was with an ESTP. So you can imagine how much, first off, I learned through that, how much it also gave me, because polar opposites. I really felt that, because we kind of merged into this one person and mentally just had this one life and this one outlook. And he was my solution. I really thought that. But in the end, especially when you know somebody a little longer, you realize how much of that was actually projection. And it's not the other person's fault. It's just that there is just no way that person can be everything you want them to be. You have this image of what you want them to be, and then you kind of force that on them. And the same way is if that person is projecting onto you. And most of the time, if you're projecting so much, there's always a give and take. There's always something going on with the other side, as well. It's never that only one person projects and the other one isn't projecting at all if you have a working relationship, right? So that's when all of those dependency things happen, when you have a narcissistic relationship or whatever it is, where you feel responsible for the other person's well-being. So no matter how you act, you feel like you're responsible for that person feeling good, and you feel like no matter what, I'm gonna put that relationship above everything. And I used to be somebody who took pride in that. I remember there was this interview with Mary J. Blige, 15 years ago, I don't remember, and it got stuck in my head until today, because she said, I went through such a bad breakup that afterwards there was always this part of me that I was not willing to share with anybody. That was just mine. And I felt when I heard that, that's so sad. I was still in that first relationship and I thought, that's so sad. To love this way, that you have this part of you that you don't want to share with your partner. And that poor thing, she had to she went through so much that she feels this way. I do not feel like this at all right now. I see the beauty in that. Because in the end, what are you saying? What is she saying in that moment? She's saying, or this is how I interpret it. Of course, it's different. But for me, that statement makes so much sense now, because we're saying there's a part that I'm going to give to myself that is not negotiable. I'm not putting my relationship over everything and then thinking me finding that relationship, me being in that relationship will be the solutions to all of my problems, because it's not. It's always going to be an illusion if you aim for that. And you're actually putting way too much pressure on the relationship and on your partner. And you're putting way too much of a not only a pressure on them or on the relationship, but on you. What you have to do. And imagine yourself, if you've ever been in a relationship like this, where you felt like this, how much you're actually really allowing yourself to only go in relationships with people who need you. For me, for the longest time, I always chose people that I felt, oh, if they only had me in their life, I would see like, what's not going well in their life, how they're not like acting or seeing the world that is most beneficial to them. And then once they see it, they will feel like they need me so much, they will appreciate me and they'll give me everything I want. There was like this intense need to have that kind of gratification from my partner, that kind of feedback. And that's the whole thing with expecting my partner to do everything for me in order to feel good. And it's like a lot of people say, well, for INFJs, that's like normal. You want, close relationships and just a couple of ones. And then, of course, the relationship, your intimate relationship is supposed to give you that much. But the only reason why we feel this way, it's because if we're not developed, it's easier. It's easier to just, not go out and kind of get all our needs met in organic ways that are outside of our relationship. So our relationship becomes this thing that is supporting us of who we want to be. So I'm not saying that I'm not like helping my partner become the best version of himself. But if he decides that's not my main priority, then I let him be. I'm not focused on that, because me saving him, how I used to always feel me saving my partner, like if I'm not able to do that, then I'm not a valuable person, I'm not worth being loved, and so on and so forth. Now I know, well, no, I actually get all of my needs met outside of that relationship. Like all mental things of who I want to be, what do I want to achieve. Watch the video before, like this one where it's like you don't know what you want, but kind of like something is missing. Once you really align your life and really design it in a way that is giving you all of that, then the relationship can be that thing that only a relationship can give you, like really having like a close bond and quality time and support and all of those things that are all, what a relationship is supposed to be, and how that can really be the icing on the cake and make your life so much better and like deeper and more fulfilled. But it's not that if that relationship didn't exist, then I'm waiting to live. So this is me. I felt like I'm waiting to live until I find a person, because only through them I could live. The moment I realized this is not going to happen, I realized that because I really sacrificed absolutely everything in order to get it and still didn't get it, and then realized I can't keep doing that, that's when I really showed up. That's when I said, I'm going to really make it a point of who I am. I'm not going to compromise certain areas of my life, because I will make sure that I will go for what I want. For me, that meant, like really stepping out of my comfort zone and saying, I'm taking charge of my life. I'm not going to always wait for my partner to do that and then feel like once I do that, people will feel like, like that's not for me because she's so independent and she knows what she wants. But I needed to make that sacrifice. I needed to know that I'm responsible for my happiness. I'm responsible for my life. I'm responsible for everything. And now the relationships I have, not only like my intimate relationship, but like also my friendships, my family dynamics and everything, they're 10 times better because they're much more authentic, because I'm not sacrificing that little thing that I said that is just mine, that I've already decided that's me. That's me. That doesn't matter who I know or who's in my life. That's just something I do for me, and there's nothing wrong about it. This is beautiful, right? I needed to understand that. And once I, approached it this way, as I said, my relationships all got 1,000 times better. Like, it's unbelievable. And, I know now that it actually makes me feel so much free, much more free, because there is not this thing, oh, if my partner doesn't like me or, he doesn't like what I do, then like I'm lost. I don't have anything. That's dependent, like that dependency is gone. And because that dependency is gone, I actually can have much deeper relationships than before. Because if you still feel like your partner is your solution, you're not being authentic. You feel like, I'm saying you, but me at that point, and I know a lot of INFJs are like this, if you want to have this like close bond and that person is the solution to everything, you're still doing it with a strategy in mind, even if you're not aware of it. And that strategy is, I have to make that relationship work. I have to make that person see me a certain way for me to feel good. And then you don't act out of like, this is my authentic self and I'm doing this for me, but you're doing it, I'm gonna be that version that he or she wants to see, what they feel most comfortable like with, how they're gonna feel great about their life. And the thing is this, once you like make that switch and you say, no matter what, if it comes to this, I'm always gonna choose me, like, it does not mean that you're not doing compromises at all. But like, for example, it's just you showing up as your own version. And the thing is this, once you've made those decisions, it doesn't feel like, oh, I'm not being kind enough towards the other person. It doesn't feel like this because that's just you. For example, let's say you don't like classical music. You just don't, right? And there's never a discussion about it. So if you meet somebody who loves classical music, you might say, yeah, we can listen to this from time to time, but I like my, I don't know, reggae music, and this is what I'm listening to. We can maybe compromise from time to time, but I am reggae. I'm not classical music. But before, in that example, I would have been, let me dive into the classical music world. I'm just gonna really ignore the fact that what I love the most, which is reggae, I'm just gonna neglect that because that's not what he wants to listen to. And I don't wanna force him into that. And I wanna spend as much time as I can with him. And so I'll start loving or appreciating, I'm gonna start appreciating classical music, but more so because he likes it and not because if I was home alone, I would choose classical music. I might choose classical music in order to understand him better, to kind of get into this world. But if he wasn't there and I knew classical music and I knew reggae and I knew hip hop and stuff, I would go towards reggae. This is of course just an example. I like classical music and I also like reggae, but I'm not that one thing is awesome and the other one is bad. But you know what I'm saying? And so as long as we keep thinking our potential relationship or our partner is our solution, we're never ever going to be able to really live out the best life possible. And you'll see your partner will also benefit from you being that version of yourself. So imagine, what if you liking reggae and you sticking with that, and I'm saying you can still make compromise, but that you stayed and you say, well, this is who I am and this is what I believe in, that actually broadens his horizon or her horizon, and that actually makes their life more interesting because they actually really see your perspective of life, and that helps them to realize more and more things. So you're not just adapting to them. There's a part of you that is not negotiable. And when you have that part that is not negotiable, your partner cannot be your solution. It just can't. It can be a great addition. It can be a support system. It can be the thing that really makes your life more beautiful. But in the end, you have this thing, and this thing, your internal growth, your internal being, bringing out who you are, what you love about yourself and about the way you see life, that's the thing that is your solution. And once you invest in that, everything else falls into place, and you'll see people that you made so many sacrifices for and relationships that didn't work, they either vanish completely or they transform themselves, and suddenly you see how people love you for you being you and not for what you're doing for them altogether. I mean, I'm not saying you're not going to help them. I'm not saying you're not going to be supportive, but you have something who you are, which is outside of who you meet. This is an authentic version, and that should be your solution. That is really the core of the fulfilling life that we all desire. That's at least my understanding. That's how I've been living. If you have another opinion, let me know. Let me know below. I can just tell you this worked for me. This worked for a lot of people I know. I've never been happier. And yeah, it's just worth it. And I'm definitely gonna really preach it, because whoever can benefit from it, great. Who doesn't agree with it, people, we have different preferences of how we want life to be. Don't watch stuff that makes you aggravated, where you feel well, I don't believe in this and this aggravates me, so I'm just gonna watch it and just get mad about it. Why do that? Do the things that make you feel good about your decisions or where you want to go, or if you want to learn from the different perspectives, be open to it, right? But in the end, it's all on you. You're the only one with the power to decide how you want your life to be. Okay? So make that decision. You're the only one who can. Nobody can save you. Be the one who really makes those decisions for you, and don't put your relationship on such a pedestal that you say, that is my solution to life. Change something, like change that perspective if you have it, and you'll see how much more fulfilling your life can be. Okay, I hope that helped you. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you think. I wish you a great day, guys, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.